So I'm sure most of you know the Sith Eyes. If you look at Anakin there, his eyes are like a nice golden orange with red tinges. You look at Maul, same thing. And then Sidious, same thing. And Dooku, I'll get to that in a second. Um, so yeah, basically this is, for whatever reason, a lot of Sith have these like golden colored eyes. And I'm like, you know what? I can do a quick segment on this. And this video is probably not going to be long. Those of you watching live, you don't know how long it's going to be. It's probably going to be like 5 or 10 minutes. But those of you watching the video, you know how long it's going to be. It's a pretty short video, I'm guessing. But yeah, Sith eyes, they're yellow. Primarily, the reason they're yellow is because it looks cool. Let's be honest, it's a movie. However, I'd like to talk about like when they would turn yellow, like what triggers it. So if you look up at the top right picture there of Mr. Count Dooku, lovely chap, his eyes are not yellow. They are a very distinct brown. Pretty standard eyes there. Not anything weird. So why is that? Are his eyes brown? And then also there are also other instances of this. Anakin, sure, there's a picture of him with his yellow eyes there, but most of the time his eyes are, I believe they're blue. Anyways, they're not Sith eyes. Then there's Darth Sidious, and for most of the prequels, he's sitting there as Palpatine with not yellow eyes. And why is that? Lastly, I want to discuss Maul real quick. His eyes are always that color. However, so are the rest of the Zabraks, I believe. So, maybe we can't really use Maul, basically, because the rest of the Zabraks have the same eyes as he does all the time, I believe. And if I'm wrong about that, leave a chat, leave a comment. I'm totally fine being proven wrong. So yeah. So let's talk a bit about Anakin. When do his eyes turn yellow? They turn yellow. Hang on, I'm lagging on this. I believe they turn yellow when he's killing the Mustafar leaders. Yes, I remember. He turns and like looks at Wat Tambor, and like you just see this glare, and it's super intense, and I love it. And it's one of the reasons I love Revenge of the Sith is because that scene is so cool. So yeah, when he's killing the Separatists. So let's look at how he's feeling then. So he just became a Sith. He just betrayed the Jedi Order. He just betrayed the Chosen One prophecy. He betrayed Obi-Wan. He betrayed like so much of his stuff, but he did it to save his wife. So he believed that it was, at least in the moment, he believed it was worth it. But the point is, he sacrificed a lot. Then he gets told to go kill the Separatist leaders, who have been causing this giant problem called a war. So he goes in and he just slaughters them just utterly mercilessly. And you can kind of tell from his expression and his body language, he's fueling himself with his anger. He is no longer worrying about like the dark side is bad and don't be bad and you're a Jedi, so don't do that. He is fully given into the dark side, and I think that's the primary reason why he's so upset at the Separatists. But I think that the Sith Eyes kind of for him represented hatred. Then there's Count Dooku, or Darth Tyrannus. His eyes actually do turn yellow at some points. I'm blanking on when it is. I believe one of the times is when he like is covering up the all the information about how he bought like the clone army and stuff. Because Obi-Wan and Anakin were actually getting pretty close to discovering a whole bunch of stuff. Like they were on the Pike planet meeting with the Pikes. The Pikes had shot down Sifo-Dyas' ship for Darth Tyrannus, and Darth Tyrannus is Count Dooku. So, and of course they knew that Darth Tyrannus is the one who hired Jango Fett to be the clone army template, so they could have pieced together, oh, Well, that means that Sifo-Dyas didn't place the order. It was Count Dooku pretending to be Sifo-Dyas, or some other, whatever the truth of the matter is. They would have figured it out, and then from there they would have more loose ends that they could track down, and I kind of, I guess, trace it back to beyond Count Dooku, but perhaps even to Sidious, and that would be no good. So Count Dooku gets sent to take on Obi-Wan and Anakin, kill basically anyone who has information, and he does that. And I believe it's at that, somewhere in that fight, that he gets Sith Eyes. And I think the reason that happened is because, honestly, I'm not sure. Maybe it wasn't even, maybe he didn't even have Sith Eyes there. But it's a cool story nonetheless. If I were to speculate, and please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about any of these instances of Yevo Eyes, of any of these sightings, but I believe there would be, he's kind of, for once, demonstrating his true colors as a Sith in that moment, because like Obi-Wan is like figuring out, oh, this is Darth Tyrannus, it's Count Dooku. He is definitely a Sith, and he's definitely sinister, and all this stuff. And Anakin and Obi-Wan, they already knew, so he doesn't really need to hide from them. The Pikes already know he doesn't need to hide from them, so he's kind of able to let loose. And his covering up information, he can cover up a little bit more, so it's not like he has to worry about this getting out. Whereas the rest of the time, he's leading the Separatists as a political leader. He can't be like slaughtering groups of Tusken Raiders. Like, he can't be killing children. He's got to keep up his appearances as a good politician who's going to be good and righteous, I guess. So this is like some of the only times he gets to, I guess, show his true colors and be a Sith. So I think that's why he was able to demonstrate his yellow eyes, not because he was feeling such strong emotion, but because he had suppressed it for so long. Then let's look at Sidious. And here's another idea is Palpatine is, like, if Palpatine had Sith eyes, that's a dead giveaway. So perhaps the Sith have control over when their eyes are yellow, or at least they can disguise them as not yellow eyes, which would explain Count Dooku's eyes as well. Then it's like, oh, well, it's not just that he's got all this pent-up rage that he's forced to hide. It's just that he always has this amount of rage, and he always has yellow eyes, and he's like, well, now I can show it, so I'm going to stop hiding it. Which would make some sense. Because, yeah, there's definitely times where Palpatine is just, like, standing around and talking, and, like, he should definitely have yellow eyes if it's just based on your emotions or your mindset or what you're planning to do. So I don't know. I'm going to guess that you need both passion, like hatred, like Anakin is showing when he's slaughtering the Separatist leaders, and also that you also need to, or you also have the option to just opt out of the eyes, which would explain Palpatine. It would explain Dooku. The other idea is that Palpatine entirely is complete, like his entire face and stuff is completely, just a complete disguise, and that Palpatine's true face is the one you see, like, after he gets supposedly burned by redirected lightning. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot to consider about Sith Eyes. So leave your thoughts in the comments or in the chat. Like, what causes Sith Eyes, and what are your thoughts on them? Do they look cool, or do they look ugly to you? I mean, I don't know. I've always loved Sith Eyes. They just look awesome to me. Leave your thoughts in the chat or in the comments.